Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto, episode 160.
Oh, yeah.
Getting up there. Today is Friday, May 4th, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
Here we go. 10-ish. Jamal J, what's going on? Malik Howard, good morning. Ballin Chang, Jack Black is up in here. P-Man Van, what's up? Carol Ann Jeffries, good morning. Good morning. Let everybody flow on in here.
Absolutely.
While we're waiting, let's go ahead and give out that free Bitcoin from, we got yesterday and the day before, right?
Yep.
Okay, we got yesterday and the day before.
All right, so from episode 158, where we basically said make up a coin that you invented, sort of like Craig Wright, aka Fake Toshi, and Indiana the Great won that with his crypto gauntlet. Basically, take all the good coins, and he created it in order to get rid of all the terrible ones, which would, probably be good because there are thousands of terrible projects.
Right.
So thank you for that comment. Also, I Bartley, one from yesterday. Basically, we said with blockchain, 22% of people actually use it or planned on using it, CIOs. So did you think it would still be around in 10 years? They actually went the opposite way of what I thought most people would, which was good because most people think blockchain would be here forever. It's perfect. However, we've always said that most companies don't need tokens. They may use blockchain technology, but the tokenized part of it doesn't matter. So he put probably 3 to 5% of companies that use it, and then other ones will probably partner up with like an IBM or something like that technology-wise. So good comment there. Both have received their free Bitcoin.
Thank you, everybody, for those comments. Good stuff. Sergeant Crypto, what's going on? Michael Jones, Alec G, Alan B, Bitcoin Hippies, a roaster. Yes, smash that like and share button, people. You know the price is going up when the chat room is full early. That's what I'm talking about. Now all of a sudden everybody tuned in.
I know, right?
No, that's always good. All right, let's go ahead and hop into a lot of stuff going on. Again, the price is going up when it's like 20 new stories, whereas just a few days ago it was like literally 3.
Yeah, it was chilling this week,
right?
All of a sudden, boom.
Of course, the top story, we have to talk about this, especially since this is our industry. Yep. Russian crypto blogger found dead in Petersburg apartment. Very sad story, but a Russian crypto investor and blogger known online as Pavel Nyashin has been found dead in his Petersburg apartment. He was 23 years old. If you remember, he was already previously assaulted in his country of Leningrad back in January. It looks like 24 million rubles, about $425,000 in cash, was stolen from him after he had boasted of his crypto-derived wealth online, they say. He moved in with his mom after that. He kind of went offline for a few months. And now it looks like he's been found dead. Right now, they don't know why, so maybe it has nothing to do with crypto. However, I don't know.
I think it has a little bit.
Right. And this story also went back and kind of touched on, I didn't even realize this happened, the kidnapping in Moscow of Yuri Mayarov, the creator of Crypto Prism, which is funny because we actually know some people who worked on that project.
Prism, yeah.
So that's really hits home. It was really crazy. But he was robbed of 300 Bitcoin, about $3 million at the time as well, and $20,000 in cash. So very unfortunate to hear about this. I mean, 23 years old, already got robbed for $500,000.
Man.
And this is something we have said for a long time. But we said when this price go up, it might get a little serious out here.
Yeah, a little sticky, especially in other countries where it's more desperation to get crypto. If it's harder to get, like we said, these things happen. Unfortunate. And, hopefully his family is all good. But this is one of those things that people see dollar signs and they go for it. Just in regular life and then same as in crypto. So be careful. Definitely would not suggest posting how much you've made in Bitcoin, or if you even have Bitcoin, how much you have online. Just regular precaution stuff, sort of like the people who flash cash on Instagram for regular. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Well, it was interesting.
Be safe.
I feel like another reason why this is happening as well is because of the government as well. The government doesn't want to recognize there's anything real. They're saying they're putting all this FUD. They're saying it's bad. It's for terrorists and criminals. So they're trying to give that stigma. And when you have that stigma, then criminals think, well, the government doesn't even care, so I definitely can get away. I can go rob whoever I want. Nobody's going to care. No, it's not going to matter. I mean, we saw the ransomware attacks last year. I think ransomware hit over 150,000 different businesses around the world or whatever. Something crazy like that. But it was the same thing with ransomware. They were asking to be paid in Bitcoin, so literally no government was following up ransomware. That was until the likes of Deloitte and what's the big one here? Equifax. Once they start getting a hit, then they started paying attention. But as far as the mom and pop, the small business, I mean, they literally would just ignored it because they're like, well, you're using crypto anyway. Like that's, that's a bit. You're out wearing a dress in a dark alley anyway. This is your fault.
It's
like
your
really.
fault. Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like that's where we're going with the government and the regulators. But again, the part about that, which it's unfortunate, but it's fine. My thing is, if that's where we're going to go with it, if things like this can happen and people get away with it, then don't ask for taxes.
Yeah.
Don't try to regulate it. Don't do any of these things. You're going to help or you're not. Yeah. So, but this is very unfortunate. Again, people, I don't know. Somebody set a Venus flytrap out there. I want somebody to brag about their crypto earnings and where they live, and like have criminals run up on them and have their whole gang inside.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bad day for some people.
Welcome to the terror dome. It's like lock the door behind them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's gonna be a bad day for a few people who are thinking the same thing. But
right.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Just stay safe, stay strapped.
JPMorgan files patent for blockchain-powered peer-to-peer payments between banks. We had to talk about this because this story is hilarious. It is literally right on time. It's right on target as far as what we say big banks and big businesses and governments are going to do strategically. Of course, first it was is fraud. It doesn't exist. Drop the price. Buy it low. X, Y, and Z. Now they're saying they have a peer-to-peer payments between banks, a blockchain-powered one.
Oh yeah.
There's already one that exists worldwide. It's called Bitcoin and the Bitcoin blockchain.
Yeah.
Like,
thanks a lot, JPMorgan.
This is what they're going to do, people. Like, for the mainstream people who have no clue who we are, any other YouTubers and people who talk about crypto, these are the diddly gang. They are literally trying to steal Bitcoin and blockchain, rename it, and just say they invented it. Like, the audacity is real, though. I love it. Like,
they're no better, really, to me than somebody who copies off somebody's paper, gets gets a good grade for it, or gets a better grade than the person they copied off of, something, and then say, "Oh yeah, we have the same thing. I'm good at it. I understand it." No, you don't. Obviously, because their ability to use cryptocurrency is cut off because they're a bank. So all they can really do is provide a database with a lot of beautiful trimming and a lot of media or whatever to make it seem like it's good. Use buzzwords like CBDCs.
Oh, you gotta use the buzzwords.
DLTs and whatever else, the abbreviation they want to come up with. That's all they got. And this really is intra-bank, so it won't really involve, regular day-to-day people. But the payments they make between banks will make their operations cheaper, which, like we stated before, if you see this technology, the reason it's important to notice is in a few years, if you see banks using this technology, your services should be cheaper.
But it's not.
It'll
be a few dollars cheaper for a few years until you forget about it.
And they'll make it, if you take something that's $20 and it costs you $1, and then you take the cost of it and then only cut it in half, you look like the good guy, but you're still making 10 times your money off of people who could seriously use a change in the way they do their banking. So the
diddly gang won't know the difference. I feel like they like being robbed and taken advantage of. But it's one of those things that P-Man Van said, isn't that Ripple? Sergeant Crypto said, sounds like the crap Ripple is shilling. I mean, exactly. I mean, they literally, they're pushing out like they invented it, though.
It's just Ripple.
Real-time settlement of payments, and clearing intermediaries. And here's the craziest thing, too. They've had this technology, people. So the people who do stay with the banks, like, I don't feel sorry for them because it's like, they charge for checking accounts now. Some banks charge for checkings and savings accounts. They still use your money to loan it out when they get it. They still make money on your money.
Still leverage.
And they have the audacity to even charge you on it. Do you understand how crazy it is? So it's one of those things where they have the tech already. They can make this work. They don't need to reinvent the wheel. They can just use Bitcoin or blockchain tech. I mean, hell, they really could even use Ripple. The fact that the technology is already there and it works, and they're still charging the fees that they charge right now to hold your money and not give it back to you, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, so just reinvented the wheel and slapped their name on it. So congrats, JPMorgan, on nothing.
There we go, Alan B. Alan B said Teddy Roosevelt would have broken up JPMorgan long ago. That is why people have those heart attacks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2008 was a big year because that could have been the first time they could have broke up the big banks, and they were like, nope, they run us. So now Bitcoin is here.
Here we are. Yeah, somebody says this the Quorum chain they were talking about. I don't think so, but you know, it most likely is. I remember they did have that Quorum chain come out, a few months ago, say they were releasing it, and that's what they're calling their blockchain. But again, as Bitcoin Zay said, they're just trying to use a bunch of buzzwords to confuse people, and to keep the same old hustle going. Again, as a businessman, I'm not even mad. It's really the customer's fault on this end. I mean, you like getting charged. You like this happening. Like do 5 minutes on Google and realize there's ways around this. But
and somebody just said on Facebook, my man Maurice, he said, I looked at my credit union financials. The only way they were solvent was due to bank fees.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. If that's the only way you can stay in business is to charge me to hold the money that I can hold it myself, then yeah, that's a bad sign, I will say.
Well, just don't forget, people, even though they're powerful, bankers aren't government employees. So let's just throw that out there, Let's let the universe just take that energy where they want to take it. You won't get as much trouble for messing with a banker as you would tar and feathering a government employee. So take a trip to New York for a week and have at it. Anyway, Big Four giant PWC PricewaterhouseCoopers invest in Chinese crypto startup Vechain. People, this is huge. Huge, I tell you. For those who don't know, PricewaterhouseCoopers is I think it's a UK-based auditing firm. It's huge. I was one of the Big Four, the same likes of Deloitte, some of those other big firms, but it looks like they have partnered with Vechain or acquired a small ownership with Vechain as of today. So what is going on with that?
First things first, I do want to say KRB Digital Assets Group. We did list Vechain.
We called Vechain. I didn't want to say
2 newsletters ago.
So about what, 3 or 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was about a month ago. Because
I think you say buy the rumor, sell the news.
Buy the rumor, sell the news.
We put it in the newsletter for sure.
Like we stated before, just a humble brag. But I mean, honestly, like we said before, with a little quick pat. But honestly, like we said before, with altcoins, what you want to find is some sort of use case. Even if it's a use case that's a few years out, it's better than some of these coins that literally have no product, no use case, and most of the money being funded or funneled into it is from like 20 people. So, from the altcoin view, I think Vechain is definitely great to look at. This partnership will help with supply. If you don't know what Vechain is, it helps with blockchain supply, basically from one point to another point, basically keeping it on track. And for anybody who has like a warehouse industry or does trucking or anything like that,
food trust and anti-counterfeiting areas.
I mean, they actually already have a deal with to get food from farm to table with schools in one country. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, Vechain is definitely trying to make the blockchain work for businesses who need it. So good for them.
Good for them. And they got Pricewater. So they got PWC behind them. Again, just to kind of go with that, the bullish sentiment, people. Places like PricewaterhouseCoopers, don't get me wrong, they invest, even Coinbase is doing it now. They have so much money, they're going to throw it in different directions, especially toward the end of the year, tax season. They're just throwing money out everywhere. But at the same time, even though they throw money out everywhere, they do have a lot of analysts and auditors working for them. They don't like to lose money. So if they're going in this direction, it's for a reason. It's one of those things, it's definitely for a reason. So that's pretty cool to see.
Don't see them losing money. I can tell you that.
Bitmain's latest crypto ASIC can mine Zcash.
Oh, word.
Big news, people. We've talked about ASICs before. We put it on our Twitter as well, the definition people asked before. But of course, what it basically does, it simplifies mining. It allows you to mine faster, more efficiently, and all that good stuff. They cost a lot of money. And of course, ASIC, owned by Bitmain, who has a monopoly on that market, are only allowing people to buy one. We talked about this before. I forgot what were they trying to do, Ethereum one or something?
They were trying to do a few of them.
Yeah, but you can only purchase one per, and that's because
so much demand.
So much demand, and they want to make sure they have the majority of them.
Oh yeah, you can't give up.
They're not going to sell. Yeah, they're not going to let you buy 1 million of them and then put them out of business.
Yeah, exactly.
You can buy one.
But move on with your day, brother.
What are your thoughts on this? I mean, is this a good thing for Zcash or bad thing? I know some people say, hey, this is an exploitation. What is it?
Well, for people who were using GPUs, it is not good.
Right, for real.
ASICs, basically people have come down against ASICs because they've been looked at as centralized mining because one company owns most of them. So with Zcash, it is sort of one of those we're becoming more centralized versus Monero. Monero pushed back against ASICs, actually forked their chain to make it ASIC resistant for this reason, to keep it more decentralized. However, we've seen Zcash getting added on Circle. We've seen Zcash in the news for other stuff as well. And with this mining, you have to have centralized mining, so to say, in order to increase the supply and in order to get it out to people who want to use it. So pretty good there. If I was a trader, Zcash is sort of good to hold for long term, but more so mining. I would try and mine as much Zcash as possible, simply because market-wise, it's a privacy coin, and we know privacy coins will get pretty hot by the end of the year here. So good to see that, and we'll see where they go from here.
Right. News. That's what I'm looking at. It looks like you only buy one at a time, but Zoroaster said Amazon buys gross.
Yeah, well, you don't want to get miners off Amazon or eBay.
I was just about to say that. That's for any crypto product, honestly. For Amazon, eBay, because I remember people were, they're buying their treasures off there and stuff, and it's like all it takes is for one person to pop that box up and reseal it back, people, and that is how your whole security profile gets compromised. So
absolutely,
definitely don't want to go that way. Just go ahead and bite the bullet, spend extra money, and get it from the main person that sells it. Pro-Bitcoin movement scraps lawsuit against VAERS Bitcoin.com, citing lack of funds. So one of the things we've been talking about, of course, on Twitter, it happened, then the actual website. A lot of people, of course, who are pro-Bitcoin have been trying to go after VAERS, Roger VAERS, who's been doing, he owns Bitcoin.com and @Bitcoin, the Twitter handle. You got to give it to him, shows him how long he's been around.
Yeah, he's been around a long time.
But of course, he is fraudulently using all those things to try to turn Bcash into Bitcoin instead of just proving its use case and just renaming it something else and saying that it's better. Yeah. Instead, he's just trying to literally take the market share, which he's done a great job at, to be honest. But it looks like the members who are trying to sue him scrapped it. They said they were only able to raise $3,700 so far, about 0.39 Bitcoin. So they went ahead and refunded that back to everyone. However, they were pretty happy. It looks like the Telegram channel had about 1,125 people, 1,125 people. And they were happy because they say, hey, even though we couldn't get the lawsuit going and that failed, they were like, Roger VAERS did change some of the stuff on the website. He did retract some things. So just the fact that, that he reacted, he had to do something is a small win for everybody. So,
yeah, I mean, as a decentralized economy, I'm more like, leave it alone. I mean, just don't buy it. Right. So to say, I wouldn't sue him for doing it. However, for those who feel really adamant about him being a fraud or basically tricking people out of their money, go ahead. It's your prerogative, but you're gonna need more than $3,000, bruh.
And that's what I was gonna say. What you gonna people forget how much Roger. Listen, Roger VAERS is worth a lot of money now. Yeah, all right? Exactly. Like the dude's worth a lot. I mean, off of estimate, I'll at least give. I mean, I know he lost a lot of money. With the Bcash, but he still made a lot on the pump and dumps on Coinbase. Yeah. Brian, we're looking at you. So I would say at least roughly 200 or 300 mil.
Yeah, he's got some cash.
With that type of money, it's gonna take a little bit more than 3,700 to cause a dent.
Yeah, 3,700. What, you gonna have me represent you? All right.
Alan B said, "Better call Saul, bro." Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Hey, I was gonna say you better off with my cousin Vinny.
Right. Yeah.
That's what you're gonna get for 3,000. So. But it's noble, I guess. I don't know.
It's a noble cause. Again, it did cause him to retract it and everything.
Somebody call Joe Pesci.
I mean, listen, if you really want him to pull some stuff off the site, just go see him at one of these conferences, people. All right?
Yeah, I mean,
you're gonna have to go talk to him in person and ask him politely. Maybe he'll do it.
But it's 1,000 other coins. Who cares?
Right? Who cares, people?
Just don't look at it.
Right. And again, we have to talk about from the business point of view. Hey, kudos to him. You know what? It definitely is immoral and unethical to the fullest. But I get it. When you're playing for billions and possibly trillions one day, a lot of that goes out the window. We've seen that. I mean, literally what they say, empires are built on blood and fire. It's unfortunate, but there is not many billionaires or big empires that didn't start off doing something wrong, unfortunately. We see that all around the world. I mean, hey, Bill Gates. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, we can name a lot of people who got some cloudy past that they've used their money and media power to try to erase that past. America, every country in the world, basically, not just America. But again, that's what he's doing right here.
That's what you got to do. Every movie needs a
every new
he's a villain. Yeah, so when the Bitcoin movie comes out, hey,
that is true. He's gonna be like the super villain. He's gonna be the Thanos. What's it called? The guy. The Thanos of.
I was gonna say. Hopefully, he's not as strong as Thanos. He's gonna snatch all of it.
Ethiopian government signs agreement with Cardano to introduce blockchain and Agritech. I swear, I love it. It's just like fun, and positivity all at once. This bull rush comes.
Yeah, we're saving the world.
Right. The Ethiopian government has recently signed a memorandum of understanding. So it's not nothing like that's all the way official, but it's kind of like a gentleman's handshake. With cryptocurrency startup Cardano, of course, ADA is a ticker. The next rip reported yesterday. The agreement will see Ethiopian developers apply blockchain tech to the country's agritech industry. What can you tell us about this? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Basically, like I said, gentleman's handshake, saying that in their agritech industry, they want to show how Cardano can help. We're seeing this more with coins as well as exchanges. I think Binance was in Uganda. We have different companies going to different countries in Africa who want to learn about blockchain and also help the community around it. One interesting thing I will say though is it would be nice to see a few cryptocurrencies actually reach out to people who want to learn about blockchain in America, because
that's true. I haven't seen it. Well,
you gotta think
the regulators. That's why they're like, no,
because most people I've told about Bitcoin and blockchain, they just didn't hear about it. They literally like, if I had heard about this, I definitely would have jumped on it. I don't think I've met a person who was like, if I had heard this before. So if you focus that energy inward, I think a lot of urban places, a lot of schools, a lot of these groups that talk about economics, things of that nature, we should start pushing. If you have a cryptocurrency or if you know one, maybe push them to invest in blockchain development right here at home, because there are a lot of people who are hungry for this information, and in other countries as well. It's good, but it will be good to see more here. But good for Ethiopia, Uganda, all the countries that are getting involved. Ghana, they also have some stuff.
That's a good point. I really didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, it's unfortunate that this is what happens with the industry, private industries, when they say, all right, regulators want to be like this, you don't want to help, you don't want to play fair,
we'll leave
with brain drain.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Physical Bitcoin banknotes launched in Singapore to drive adoption. This is another very cool story. Singaporean startup developing smart banknotes for cryptocurrencies has launched sales of physical Bitcoin banknotes with a pilot in the major Singaporean mall. From what I read about this story, it reminds me of what is it? You did a video on it already. Open Dime. But what are your thoughts on this? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for people who just can't get away from physically looking at something, or if you want something to hold for the future, like I have a few trinkets of Bitcoin stuff that I'm holding just for future. This is pretty good to use. I will say I wouldn't be surprised if next week we see a cease and desist from Open Dime towards this company, because it is sort of the same design. However, it is pretty nice. It does show that Bitcoin is one of those things that can be on your computer, it can be on your phone, it can be on a physical device, it can be on a chain. I've seen people wearing it on bracelets. So this is just one of the many examples. Good to see. Cool story here, I think. Yeah,
so they use a chip, put a chip in a piece of paper, basically, you got a real note.
Yep, and it's
Bluetooth, cool,
Bluetooth enabled, so you can actually move the funds from there to a device using Bluetooth technology.
Now, that part is scary to me because of these hackers these days.
Oh, yeah.
Bluetooth enabled, they're like, somebody's going to figure it out.
Yeah, NFC
somebody will figure it out.
Yep.
They're like, you can just steal Bitcoins just by being around the cloud.
Yeah. NFC is definitely, they got to get some security stuff together, but it's all good.
Oh, yeah. One of the most bullish stories and something we love to see. Perfect example of something we talk about all the time of what bigger investors, institutional investors, banks, and governments are trying to do. This is showing it. Basically it happened. Angel investor amassed 10,000 Bitcoins amid 2018 price slump. All right, people, it's May, which means between January to the end of April, this guy just got 10,000 Bitcoins.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Chinese investor, Kai Wenxing, angel investor from China, and chairman of photo retouching app provider Meitu. Basically said he had a goal of acquiring 10,000 Bitcoins. After December, he saw it reach $20,000. He was like, all right, he did his due diligence. He said, this is the real thing. And that's what happens. Some people either don't know or don't care enough, especially if you're already a I know people who are, 9 figures, people like 100+ mil. And they're just like, maybe it is the future, but they're like, I don't care that much. I'm not about to risk this for something, maybe. So this is one of those guys who clearly was like, I'm not going to risk my money right now for possible things happening. But he said after it reached 20K, he was like, all right, let me take a peek, did his due diligence. And of course, all of a sudden, multimillionaires and billionaires like him do their due diligence and the price dips severely. Not gonna say there's a correlation there. Hint, hint.
We need it lower,
right? But he said he waited till it got down to 9,700, then the 6,000 again. He said he had been buying it ever since, and he basically already achieved his goal of 10,000 Bitcoins, which are now worth about $96 million.
Shout out to him.
Bravo, though. Exactly. I mean, this is what we keep telling people. It's like, you know, people get scared. Is it going to die? Is it going away? No. Very wealthy people who own media channels, radio channels, all types of publications, all types of government relationships and banking relationships. It was a concerted effort, and it still is going to be another concerted effort to keep driving the price down or to keep holding the price as low as possible so people like this can come in and just accumulate and buy as much as possible. So when that thing does blow off the handle, which it will, hopefully this month, if not later on this year, I mean, they're 96 million already. How much do you think it's gonna be worth in 3 years, people?
Yeah, exactly. It's not even. It's not even hit the all-time high from last year yet. If it does, it'll be 200 million. So you know, like we've said before, trading in any industry is a whale's game because whoever has the most money controls the industry. However, between market makers and whales, they always follow the trend. Like, they're not going to go against the trend because they set the trend and then they actually, you know, buy and sell into it. However, whenever you see something like this guy did, a price or an asset go crazy, you automatically should stop, calm down, do not FOMO into it. Look for a entry point. A good entry point, and I guarantee you this guy was like, well, as soon as it gets back down to where I think it's a low entry point, while everybody was complaining about the price going to 3K or to 1,000 or it's going away forever, he was accumulating. This is what smart traders and rich people do. While everybody is panicking and like, I don't know what's going to happen, what's going on with Bitcoin, they were buying from 6 to 7,000,
and that's what he continued to buy too. It was, if you notice, it wasn't just you know, I bought 10,000 off of one was it U.S. Marshall sale or whatever. No, he was like, hey, I've been buying since January, slowly. I mean, again, we tell people all the time, it's like, hey, if you got $25, buy $25 a week or a month worth. You know, you can buy any price point you want, but just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And
market cycles are market cycles, they happen, and you definitely can't avoid it because human psychology, when you look at a chart, you're looking right at human psychology. That's all you're really looking at. So like I said, the smartest people usually look for entry points. They don't FOMO, they wait, they're patient. And like I said, this man's patience could amass him $1 billion by the end of the year.
It's gonna be crazy.
And all he had to do was wait 4 months and just accumulate. He probably didn't read any news. He probably he wasn't responding to FUD. He wasn't, you know, arguing on Twitter with people. He was probably just like, I'm just gonna get what I want and then chill, and then he's gonna be straight later. So good for him.
And I also give him props too because you know, he said he started accumulating at 9,700, but for one to already be very wealthy and to see a dip from 20K and still, like you said, understand markets and say, you know what, I know it's at 20K, it's dipping, people are saying it's dead, government's going to try to ban it, all this other stuff. For him to say, you know what, I'm still going to invest my money. And then it goes from 9,700 down to 6,000 for him to still say, you know what, I'm going to keep investing my money.
Who are you with your $50? You know what I mean? Like, it's people... Like, it's people that literally that would tell me, it's like, I can't do it. But like we said, from a money standpoint, if you can eat out all the time, if you can buy shoes all the time, if you can, you know, waste it. Everybody wastes it on something. Whatever. I've had to pull back on some stuff when I first started in order to do it. But everybody can buy a little bit, accumulate. And then next thing you know, you look up and then great days ahead for you. I can tell you that.
Sergeant Crypto said he better watch his back. You know, somebody in the comment section actually said that, but somebody else made a good point. It was like, you know, clearly he was already like a multi-millionaire, billionaire, so
I'm sure
he know the game.
Yeah, I'm saying he got a few people watching.
He know the game. But yeah, so bravo again, great bullish sentiment, and you know, a great example of investing right there. You know, I know there's a bunch of other millionaire and billionaire friends looking at him like, what? Why you didn't tell me you're doing this? All right. Other than that, what are we doing for the free Bitcoin today?
So for our free Bitcoin, we're going to look at the Bitcoin Cash lawsuit, and I want you to comment on: do you think we should have lawsuits against cryptos, or do you think we should basically leave cryptos alone, pure decentralization, or if you think it's a mix of the two? Leave your comment, put your public address, and we'll send that free Bitcoin to you.
Should we have lawsuits against crypto? That's actually pretty good. Somebody set the precedent. Let us know. All right. Other than that, you know, you can find us on all types of podcasts: Google Play Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, app, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn Radio. And of course, if you do want some more of these calls from our newsletters and all this other stuff we provide, we have all types of educational videos. We release 2 a week. Then you can go to KirbyCrypto.com, KRBECRYPTO.com. Click that join button right there, and go ahead and join the group, and you know, get a little bit more information and get ready for this next bull cycle that's coming.
And next week, as far as the education group, definitely newsletter wise, we'll be starting to sell them individually coming up in the next few weeks.
Yes.
Also, we'll publish some group stats based on how we're doing so far. So people who want to join, you can see how we're doing.
Right.
All those things coming up, in the next few weeks, because like I said, May is a huge month, and we want to have a good summer. So.
And we know it. We'll probably run a special too. We'll run a special here soon to make sure everybody can get in at an affordable price.
Yeah.
And other than that, have a happy Friday, people.
Have a good weekend.
Let's see what this price does over the weekend. What types of crazy news? I do not promote that type of stuff.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo. So have a good time, people. Forget about crypto for a while. It will always be here, or will be here at least until Monday. So cheers.
Oh, yeah. Have a good one.